This video was brought to you by manco.trade. This site allows you to instantly trade off your unwanted TF2 items for other various TF2 items. Any money that will be left over in one of your trades that you overpaid by gets added to your wallet, which you can then use in future trades. They also hold pretty regular giveaways, so the link to manco.trade will be down below. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Joe and welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be taking a look at something pretty interesting that happened within Team Fortress 2. Now, you've probably seen my video about cheaters, and I know quite a few other TF2 YouTubers have made videos about the sort of cheater crisis that we're facing at the moment. And something pretty interesting happened, and I was actually alerted about this by someone in my YouTube comments, so if you're watching this, thank you for letting me know. Just before we get into the video guys, I'm super close to 100,000 subscribers. I'm literally about 3 or so thousand away, and I've got a stat on my dashboard that shows around 60% of my viewers aren't subscribed. So if that is you and you do enjoy the content, then feel free to subscribe. So there's this Reddit post on r/TF2 saying hundreds of Team Fortress 2 bots VAC banned after 1.5k hours in game. And there's also a post on this subreddit like dedicated to VAC bans, essentially showing the same thing, that multiple of these bots, all of which having 1,500 plus hours, all receiving VAC bans on the same day. Now the post itself on the VAC dedicated page says, if you are from the EU and you play Team Fortress 2, you must know the Valve killer bots. Valve updated TF2 anti-cheats and these bots got banned. Almost all bots after 1,400 to 1,600 hours cheating in game got VAC banned 8 days ago. I found more than 50 accounts from my previous game. I guess there are hundreds of thousands of these accounts. Now, this is really interesting to me because a few people have said there's been like a change to VAC, etc. But more people seem to think this was a manual ban. We've seen it countless times where Valve themselves will ban someone causing a lot of issues, you know. We see Valve hand out bans manually. This can mean one of two things. So if Valve have updated Valve anti-cheat, it's going to see a significant decrease in the amount of cheaters that we see. Or if they're handing them out manually, it means that Valve are paying attention to Team Fortress 2 and are hearing the community's cries about these cheaters and are finally doing something about it. So either way, this is really big. A lot of people are saying that because of obviously how Half-Life Alyx is going on at the moment, Valve are dedicating more time to Team Fortress, and if that is the case, then that is fantastic. It means that they're finally starting to acknowledge the issues that the community has been having, and maybe we'll start to receive updates if that is the case. So for example, the top comment on the TF2 Reddit post says, they're finally buckling down on the bot problem because Half-Life Alyx is pretty much finished. If anyone here doesn't know, most of the TF2 team was put on the Half-Life Alyx dev team, and they've likely finished on the development phase. As a result, the TF2 devs can get back to work. Now obviously this is just Reddit speculation. Reddit isn't exactly a credible source of information, and if you take everything on Reddit seriously, then like you're gonna lead with a lot of misinformation. I know for a fact that people have tweeted that even since this VAC wave or manual ban has happened, they still experience a lot of cheaters in Team Fortress. It's not completely eradicated the problem. So I do think that it's like a drip in an ocean, if that makes sense. Like banning a few of these bots isn't gonna solve the problem, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, and they're definitely drawing attention to it. So let me know, have you noticed a significant decrease in the amount of cheaters that you're playing with, or alternatively, have you not noticed any difference at all? If the case is that a bunch of the TF2 team was working on Half-Life Alyx instead, I wonder what the possibility is that once, you know, that people come back to Team Fortress 2 and work on it, I wonder how long it will be before Valve make another big project where Team Fortress 2 just sort of gets brushed aside again. I feel like it's almost an inevitability at this point that, you know, Valve will start working on another game. No one anticipated Half-Life Alyx, but who's to say they won't make another sort of Half-Life style game, or like, who's to say they won't make some sort of Portal game, or just anything that's newer that requires devs from Team Fortress 2 to go and work on it again. I feel like it's an inevitability, unfortunately. And these few manual bans that everyone are talking about really isn't anything significant. But either way, I don't think you can deny that this is a massive step in the right direction from Valve. Whether it's an update to VAC or whether it's manual bans, they're definitely starting to acknowledge the cheater problem in Team Fortress 2 and taking steps to rectify it. One of the top comments on the TF2 post says, back to work on community hats every holiday and rehashed Scream Fortress. And like, yeah, even if TF2 team like start working on TF2 again, does that just mean we're gonna get get a bunch of the same updates that we had last year, or does it mean we'll actually get updates of content from Valve? I mean, who knows at this point. But yeah, at least we'll still be getting updates to the game, as this comment says. At least they'll still be updating the game. There aren't many games that are over 10 years old that still get new content. And yeah, but the new content is community made, you know? So, yeah, I just thought this was really interesting. As you can see, multiple bans, and you might think to yourself, 1,500 hours on a cheating account is a lot. Like, why would a cheater have over 1,500 hours in the game? You gotta think, I mean, it says there, 115 hours in the past 2 weeks. So, these bots more than likely have been running TF2 non-stop. Like, that's generally the case with this, is that, like, these bots will be running 24/7. So, although 1,500 hours is, like, loads, I mean, it's nearly as much as I've got in multiple years of playing, realistically, that took probably about 2 months of just sat idling, going through servers. Like, it doesn't actually take much to accumulate that amount of hours if they're constantly on Team Fortress 2 with no breaks. So I thought I'd clean up that misconception that, like, 1,500 hours on a cheating bot isn't actually as much as it sounds. I guess the issue with this is, if these are manual bans and Valve have just distributed a bunch of manual bans to these bot accounts and cheaters accounts, the cheaters will just make new accounts. It takes, like, what, 20 seconds to make a new Steam account, and TF2 is a free-to-play game. If they already have all the files, you don't need to install. Like, it's literally going to be such a minor inconvenience if these cheaters are about it and want to make more bots. You know, like, it's really not going to be too much of an issue. And I mean, one of the comments here just says, now watch them create new accounts. And, like, yeah, I mean, there's another comment here that says, I see no evidence that they're banning hundreds of bots. All I see is a screenshot of one account banned a week ago. Do you have further proof? And then someone linked to the VAC Reddit that I had open in the other tab. Apparently there's a lot of people in the Steam discussions as well, which I haven't seen, essentially complaining that they've been VAC banned for nothing. I feel like that's what all cheaters end up saying. They're like, oh, I wasn't cheating, I had, like, the wrong screen recording software open and it banned me. Like, no, that doesn't happen. You don't really get false positives with VAC generally. I mean, there is the odd exception, but generally speaking, you don't normally get false positives. You don't get banned for nothing. There's a comment here that says, it takes time to update VAC to detect new cheaters that circumvent it, which is probably what happened here. Oh, and as the others have said, the team would usually do this that has been working on Half-Life Alyx. So yeah, it just backs up the point that the reason this has taken so long and this has been such an issue for so long is that the people that normally work on this kind of stuff and distribute these kind of VAC waves and updates to the VAC system haven't really been working on Team Fortress 2. They're, you know, going into work and working on Half-Life instead. So they've not really had the time and the resources to sort of work on the VAC system, which explains why we've had this massive period of just complete rampage of cheaters. There's a comment here that says VAC also does delayed bans to make people feel more comfortable cheating more blatantly, which I guess makes sense. Like, you see it in CSGO all the time, where people will be cheating for a good amount of time. They'll have, like, a rank, they'll have played quite a few comp matches before they actually get the ban, and I don't know if it is necessarily to make them feel more comfortable. Yeah, someone here says, not to make them more comfortable cheating, but to not give them an easy way to test what is and isn't detective. So it stops people from just making a new account to test their cheating software, and if they're instantly banned, they know it's not going to work, which is actually quite smart on Valve's end, because if that was the case, cheaters could just make small adjustments to their cheating software to then make adjustments to see where they're not banned, you know. So if that is the case, and that is why Valve sort of takes a little bit of a delay in terms of distributing bans, then, you know, I think that's really good. I just realised this whilst I was editing, but I came over to the Steam discussions to see what people were saying about it there, and unfortunately it doesn't seem to be having as good of a response as I was expecting. I mean, for example, this person says the current state of Team Fortress 2, the first game they joined was pretty much over, so it barely counts. The second game they joined, the bots start to join, it wasn't fun, and we couldn't kick them or vote kick them because their buddy bots pressed F2. And then third game, the server was mostly comprised of bots. So this person says Valve needs about 1,500 hours to ban a bot account, judged by some of the bots' recorded hours, and the host needs a few minutes to replace banned accounts. So yeah, what it seems like is this hasn't actually impacted it in the way that a lot of people were making out it was going to, or maybe in the way that I thought it was going to. And yeah, all the banned accounts that I was looking at on Reddit had about 1,500 hours before they were banned. So maybe, yeah, they need literally 1,500 hours before Valve can take action, which, if that is the case, really isn't very good. But yeah, I really hope we start to see a positive change soon. But yeah, I just thought this was a pretty interesting video and discussion point, so maybe leave your thoughts on this whole thing down below if you think that this is definitely a step in the right direction, or if you just think it's like a drip in the ocean and Valve aren't really going to follow up with anything. Leave a like if you enjoyed, guys, let me know your thoughts down below, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and peace. Stop until everybody knows me bangers in my room and sound just like the pros. I just made a bag and blew it on a coat.